Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We're jumping right into things with an update on the Jenkins, because boy oh boy have things been popping off over there on that side of the internet.
10-month-old baby just had a t-shirt.
Pookie, why aren't you at the hospital with your baby?
The resilient Jenkins just lost custody of one of the children. Drew Jenkins just posted a video saying Deshawn is no longer living in the one-room motel room with Stephanie, Drew, and the other 4 children.
Oh my dear Jesus. Oh my god. Please watch this clip and then we need to talk about it, because what in the world is going on here?
I just like my body being nourished, my goodness, and back to doing these dishes in the freaking bathtub because it's so much faster than that small sink doing it one.
The resilient Jenkins have poopy rags in their bathtub, the same bathtub where they wash dishes. Like, I really wish I was making this up, but no, Stephanie made a video explaining this, and we're all losing it. It is valid that we're all freaking out.
So if this is your first time hearing about the Jenkins, I highly encourage you to go watch my first video on them. There will be a link in the description, of course, but I will give a quick rundown of who they are. So Stephanie and Drew went viral in 2024 for all of the wrong reasons. They were a blended family of 7 living in a 1-bedroom apartment, while neither adult had a full-time job. Drew did DoorDash and mostly sat on his butt playing PS5, and Stephanie was trying to do content creation. And because of their poor choices, they got evicted from that 1-bedroom apartment and are now living in a motel. When I last covered them, they had been in the motel for, I think, 4 to 6 months, something like that. And now it has been just about a year that they have been living out of this motel. Now, Drew did finally get a part-time job working at a grocery store, and Stephanie is still claiming to be a stay-at-home mom. I wish I could come on here and tell you that things were going a lot better for them, that they were improving their image on the internet, but that would just be a lie. They seem to have learned nothing from the mistakes that they have made that have landed them into this situation, which is what we're going to get into today. We're also going to talk about some side character drama that is happening. I'm not going to get into all of the details of the side character drama. I am going to talk about it a little bit and give my opinion on it, but for all of the details and the screenshots and everything, I'm going to direct you to Cursed Eyes video on it. I'm not really going to be trying to stick to a timeline or anything. We're just talking about the stuff that happened, okay? Hey guys, I'm just popping in here real quick. So a lot of stuff has gone down with Stephanie in the last couple weeks while I've been dragging my heels making this video. So if you guys don't care about a lot of this old information, I'm gonna go ahead and just leave a timestamp so you can go ahead and skip to that. I know I'm still really slow at getting videos out. I say this every video, I'm working on it, but that's why I really encourage you, if you like my videos and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe and make sure to hit the notification button so you actually get notified when I do get a video up. And first things first, we have to talk about the DooDoo Rags situation.
But one thing I'm going to do every time I do laundry is pull all of the towels and make sure all of the towels get washed. And you may be wondering why the abundance of washcloths in the bathtub, and here's the reasoning behind that. I gave up on the concept of wet wipes like a freaking few months ago. I lost track of how long it's been since I used wet wipes. But I have next level squirmy toddlers when it comes to being changed, and I'm not trying to have poo all over my freaking elbows, so I'd rather just pop them babies in the shower every time. And if that means they need to have 3 showers a day, so friggin' be it. Now that's a you do what you do, I do what I do type of situation, because you want to sit there and judge me, baby, you could learn some things from me, okay? Oh my God, Lord, I just saw what y'all gonna snap as a screenshot. Go ahead.
Listen, there are a lot of moms who actually do this and use cloth diapers and just, try to be more eco-friendly or more economical. But in her situation, she does not have the space to be as sanitary as one should be when doing that. And 2, we have seen her wash her dishes in this bathtub.
I was thinking about that because when I dropped my kids off at school the other day, and I seen like what's probably a bunch of Caucasian females around the same age as me.
She washes them in the bathtub just because there is more space to soak all of the dishes at once instead of just the tiny little kitchenette sink that's in the motel. And then she gives this whole explanation on the rags that she's using to clean them and how she has them all separated.
Honestly, y'all, I can't tell sometimes if you just like to make up crap because it benefits your views and you continually see the pattern of every time you speak some crazy crap about me, you get the views and whatever. So let's break it down for you. I really think I didn't separate them. I'm washing my baby's bums with the same rags that I wipe the floors and I do cleaning with. No, man, come on now. Blue ones are all of our body rags, body wash rags. The kids know this stuff too. Any of the microfiber are all of the cleaning rags that do not get used on our bodies. The miscellaneous ones that I have are what you like to call the DooDoo Rags, and I'm going to touch base on that too. Separate from all of those, we have the face wash rags, which I need to get more of, but we still have them and they're separate from everything else. I don't know why it's such an issue that I prefer to use rags versus wipes. There's many reasons why I went into this, and it didn't just happen. Okay, there's a few occasions where Drew was at work and he couldn't bring wipes to me, and I just, I didn't have wipes on hand, so I used the washcloth, and I ended up liking it a lot better because just my preference. I mean, I feel it's no different than people who choose to use cloth diapers. I mean, they're going to be rinsed out, washed, and reused, and that's the same thing that's going on with these rags. I don't like to sit there and fuss with a bag of wipes. I don't like to have to use 20 plus wipes on one doo-doo diaper. Washcloths, it's an easy process. Just warm up the rags, warm water. It's a lot more comfortable for the kids. You do what works for you, and it doesn't have to work for everybody else. But going around making up bullcrap about people using dirty cleaning rags on the baby's bum just because it benefits your views, honey, there's a special place, is all I gotta say. People need to learn to just be kind. It's not that hard.
I mean, I'm just gonna say that this rag that she's currently using right here for dishes looks a lot like the ones that she said were for the body and or the DooDoo Rags.
Absolutely disgusting, by the way. I almost puked, but let me stay focused.
Okay, so even though that does suspiciously look like that might be a body rag or a doo-doo rag, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she's keeping the rags separate. Again, it is just a sanitary issue, and I'm going to post this video of this woman's cloth diaper routine just to show how much work goes into keeping everything sanitary.
I have been cloth diapering almost 7 years so far. This is my routine. So starting off, we spray all the solids into the toilet, and then I take the freshly sprayed diapers and throw them directly into my washing machine. Then I go and grab all the remainder of my diapers. I have a laundry pail in my closet, as well as a diaper pail in my daughter's room, and this is about a week's worth of diapers. I've been trying out some different detergents, and I saw this one on Thrive Market, so I thought I'd give it a go. And then those were my plastic agitator balls. They just help break up any kind of gunk a little bit better than just water. These are diapers that I kept in the diaper bag, which we store in the wet bag, and as you can see, I can just shake out the inserts right into my washer. I don't actually have to touch the wet insert, which in my opinion is amazing. After the first wash, I make sure everything is kind of unstuck from the drum of my washer. I go in with some more detergent, pause for the ingredients. I do about 1 tablespoon of detergent each wash. I don't usually do more than that. And then I'm going to go in with some Groby and Mighty Bubbles, which is like out of stock everywhere. It really helps clean, especially when I'm going a week between washes. And then optional, I'll sanitize at the end, doing a 30-minute rinse cycle. And then I toss everything directly into the dryer. Make sure to dry all your stuff on low, medium heat at most. Preferably, if you hang dry the diapers, they will last you longer. Inserts are pretty dryer safe. They may shrink, but that's about it. And then once those are all dry, you just take your insert and you stuff it inside your pocket diaper, and it's ready to go for your next diaper change. Really is that easy.
My whole point with showing this video is in their current living situation, I don't think it's possible to remain as sanitary as you need to be. And she's trying to act like the victim, which is really frustrating to me because she is the one who chose to put this information out there. We would have never known about the DooDoo Rags had she not mentioned it. In the video, she mentions like, oh, you're probably wondering why there's a bunch of washcloths in the bathtub. And I don't think anyone gave the washcloths a second thought. There's so much stuff around that room and other things for people to focus on. I really don't think people were going to hyperfixate on those washcloths. So I really wonder if she was just rage baiting people. Not saying that she isn't actually using the DooDoo Rags, just saying that she knew it would piss people off and people would feel a certain way, so she mentioned it. So around Christmas time, Stephanie made the announcement that they had decided not to post a wish list for the kids for Christmas, stating that they always find a way to make it special and memorable for their children without the help of others, and that it was just too controversial to do so this year. Well, people ended up finding 2 wish lists that were in Drew's name made in December 2025, and as you can see, things were already purchased off of the wish list. Now, Stephanie made a Facebook post saying that if you see any wish lists that are in her or Drew's name, that it's not them, that they didn't make one, and if they did see one, to be careful because it's probably someone spamming. But I find it interesting that she doesn't clearly state, do not purchase any items on that list because it's not going to us. You would think that she would be worried about her actual supporters getting scammed because these people are spending their hard-earned money on her children. Now, according to what I have read, later on, Drew does admit on a live that he did create the wish lists. I have not seen that footage. If I find it, then I will put it in here. So despite Stephanie saying that she was still going to be able to make Christmas magical for her kids, she ends up posting this video saying how she wasn't really able to spoil them very much, and also kind of talking how it wasn't that big of a deal because they won't remember it or treasure these gifts as much because of their age, which it's just bullshit, honestly. That's just her trying to make herself feel better for the situation that they're in and the choices that they have made.
And you have no one to blame but yourself.
So I'm sitting in here beating myself up because I'm like, I just feel like I wanted to be able to spend so much more on my kids this year. And then I started thinking to myself, like, what was the first year I really remember the gifts that I got? Like, what year did they start really meaning something to me? And it really wasn't until I was about 12, 13. And I remember specifically because it was this one year that I asked for a Walkman and Rebecca St. James CD and Stacey Rico. What you know about that? Like, I remember that year the most. I do remember there was this year when my mom was single that she got blessings and donations from churches and other resources, and our living room was literally packed. I remember the abundance of gifts, but do I remember anything specifically, like gift-wise? No, not really. And I really do feel like you have to like do it for the age, you know what I'm saying? Like the experience, yes, but at the same time, like, is your kid old enough to value the experience that you're spending thousands on? That's up to you to decide. But for me and Drew personally, we've decided we're not going to even beat ourselves up for the fact that we can't do an abundance of gifts this year because it's not the year we want to do it. Anyways, that's kind of like how I'll be headed to the dollar store to get the rest of the gifts because the budget was $200, spent $230 at Fred Meyer, which I still think is immaculate considering what I got, so I'm actually pretty proud of that. But I'm gonna head to the dollar store for, you know, just the less little nicky-nacky stocking stuffer, wrapping paper, that sort of stuff.
Stephanie is just a giant walking contradiction because actually she was bragging on live saying how she makes more money than a lot of us.
You guys still do not see my social media thing as a job when I probably make more than most of you. I could give a frick.
So it's like, okay, Stephanie, if you make more than most of us, how come you aren't able to spoil your children? Your children who are really going through it right now. And again, even in that clip where she's talking about only having the $200 budget, but at the same time saying, well, we just don't want to do that this year and that's what works for our family. And it's like, girl, what is it? Do you not have the money to buy presents for your kids, or do you have the money and you just don't want to? And the absolutely most frustrating thing about this entire situation is that neither one of them have stopped gardening. Y'all know what I mean by that. They're not out there raking and mowing and all that shit.
And it's really like the only extra thing that I would say I do, and she does.
So Drew and Stephanie have admitted how much money they're spending on gardening every single month, and it is a topic of conversation. So Drew on a live said that they spend about $30 every couple of days. So let's just take half the month. At 15 days out of the month that they are spending on gardening, we are talking about $450, and that's being lenient. A lot of people were saying it's probably more often than they're leading on. When discussing gardening, I feel like it's such a hot topic because a lot of creators are like, you know, while I don't judge gardening, okay, I'm gonna put a pause on that. I'm judging. I'm not judging for people who have the extra spending capabilities, but I'm absolutely judging when they don't have that. In addition, I'm judging because They live in a 1-bedroom motel and they have 1 vehicle. So if they are gardening like they say they are, and she often has talked about going out to the car to do it, you know damn good and well that their children are being sent to school smelling like it. And I personally have an issue with that.
I completely agree with this creator right here. I personally have nothing against gardening or anyone who partakes in it, but when you are spending the little bit of extra money you have on it and you have children to take care of and they are going with less because of that, no, absolutely not. And honestly, that extra $400 and whatever should be going into savings to help them get into a place. This all just goes back to their poor choices that have landed them into this situation. And Stephanie refusing to get a job. She keeps stating that she can't because she would have to put her kids in daycare, but I'm pretty sure that Drew works nights. So I don't understand why she couldn't find a part-time job during the day and then them just switch off. I know they won't see each other very much, but like if that's what you gotta do for a little bit until you guys can get a place and you're good, and also that would give you more content. You can spin that to where then we're not just seeing you clean up the same thing over and over again. So people just kept bringing up the wish list, saying how they tried to fool people or, you know, pull a fast one on everyone, thinking that people wouldn't figure it out. And Stephanie ends up posting this video.
Let me ask y'all something. If you receive an item that you know you have on your Save for Later in your Amazon cart, knowing you didn't give that information to anybody, are you going to show gratitude or are you going to be a little freaked out? See, I found it odd when people kept telling me that me and Drew shared a wish list over the holidays when I knew damn well we didn't. And while I'm not going to lie and say that we didn't receive anything, because we did receive some stuff that was on a wish list that I didn't even share. Which means there's only one explanation of that. Somebody hacked into our Amazon and took it upon themselves to share a wish list. And they've gone even further because they've taken items that I've had in the cart and just sent them to us. And I'm tossing between, like, I'm grateful and I'm also creeped out because why would you take it upon yourself to hack into somebody's Amazon and send them stuff that they didn't ask you for? And it takes me back to this time when I was a young mom with my first baby and my sister took my baby to Build-A-Bear for the first time without me. I remember being so bitter, but then I was like, why would I be bitter? At least my baby got that experience. Yeah, I'm pissed off you invaded our privacy, but I'm grateful for the things that are provided.
Has anyone in the history of ever thought about hacking into somebody else's Amazon account to send that person stuff? What are we talking about here, okay? Like, what? No, that doesn't happen, okay? They charge your card and then they send a bunch of shit to wherever they want to send it, okay? They don't send you things that you specifically want. No one is doing that. I just do not see anyone caring that much about you guys that they are going to go out of their way to hack into your account and spend their money on stuff for you. Okay? Just admit it. Drew already did. Stephanie, just admit y'all made the wish list and wanted to try and bamboozle everyone and it didn't work.
But back to it, because I really just find it odd that people take it upon themselves to get into somebody's Amazon account and order stuff directly from their cart and think that they're doing them a favor and it's not freaking creepy and weird. You know every bit of my kids' clothing sizes and everything I have saved in my Save for Later with no permission whatsoever. I never asked you to send anything to my kids because, quite frankly, whoever's doing this is low-key a stalker weirdo. But then, Stephanie, why keep the stuff? Why not just give it back and send it back? Because here's, like I said in the last video, if you caught up, there comes a point in time when you have to ask yourself, is these items, these things that people are sending us going to benefit my kids? Probably. So my stubborn ass needs to set aside my ego and realize that the stuff is already here. Might as well freaking keep it so it can benefit my children, right? I don't know. Like I said, I'm tossed in between this one. This one's a weird one for me.
It's funny how creepy it is for her here and how weirded out she is by it. But then just a couple of weeks later, when this mysterious person sends them a new TV and other more pricey items, they're so thankful and they're so grateful.
All right, guys, it looks like we keep getting a whole bunch of packages and we really do appreciate it. We just received a trash can, a TV with a 55-inch TV, and a car seat.
Yeah, a car seat for Manova.
And it was really unexpected. I was we're picking up the kids from school, and I get a picture message from Babe with this stuff on our door, and I'm like, what the heck? So we're just kind of just reaching out and just saying thanks, because we do appreciate it. It's unexpected, and I really don't know what to say, because it kind of just takes pressure off us to,
it really does,
like spending that money. We can just kind of hold on to it, so we're just kind of saying thanks.
Yeah, I'm putting together like a little clip of the things that we've gotten over the last week or so. I've been trying to keep up on it and, you know, say thank you guys, because we really do appreciate it. And like you said, it takes pressure off us, things that we can mark off our list that we don't now have to take out of our own pocket, and it's really, really appreciated. So thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yes, thanks guys.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that they chose to upload this onto Drew's TikTok and not Stephanie's. You know, Stephanie's channel obviously has a lot more followers and people watch a lot more often than they do on Drew's channel. So you think that they would post it over there because it's more likely that the people who actually bought this and sent it are going to see it and see them be thankful for it. But they could have been just trying to bring more traffic over to Drew's channel, because more traffic means more money. So a few months back, I do remember Steph telling us that she was no longer going to be posting the children or talking about their medical conditions. But despite that, she ends up posting this video onto Facebook talking about how her youngest kid, Momo, had a seizure.
You're only gonna focus on the fact that I fucking have this shirt on, that I'm in the fucking grimy ass bathroom. And this is the reality of not having a fucking village, bro. Because my fucking baby, my 10-month-old baby, just had a fucking seizure. And I mean, I don't like posting this kind of shit normally, because it's like, people will make the video about anything but what I'm going through, and you'd be like, you fucking deserve this shit, and just all this like bullshit about like not acting like I'm human, and this stuff is tough to fucking go through. Because I don't get to be there with my baby. I just have to stay here and take care of the rest of the kids. And I have nobody to call to take the rest of my kids, and my freaking milk is reminding me that I'm not with my baby. This is the only clean shirt I had right now, so fuck off. Fuck off if you're insensitive, like, fuck. Sorry for cussing so much. A scary enough situation for the kids, so. I had to come in here and gather myself before I go back out there.
So a big criticism that I saw online was, why was it that Drew was the one that went with her to the hospital and not Stephanie? And I honestly don't know why they made that decision. They never clarified that. In reality, Drew should be capable of going to the hospital with his child, but it is Drew, so I get that. And honestly, I am going to empathize with her in this moment. I'm sure it was really scary. She didn't know what was happening and she couldn't be with her baby. But at the same time, my first thought when I saw that video was, this should not have been posted online. She should have sent this to a friend or a family member or someone to vent to. And it just really made me wonder if she has any in real life friends at all, even somebody just to text. Or is she just that willing to turn every aspect of her life into content? Never mind, guys. I found an old video of Steph's where she explains why she doesn't seem to have female friends.
You know, I don't think anyone explains to a woman like what an alpha female looks like. And I feel like that comes from a sense of like maybe jealousy, or just the fact that alpha females kind of don't, the energy just kind of like is there, you know? And I guess I'm just now realizing that I am an alpha female. And I took that as a negative thing, because I don't want to be like, oh, you know, this energy. But then I come to find that I can walk in a room with lots of other women and they're intimidated by my energy. And it's not something I do intentionally, ever.
Now, the baby did come home and everything seemed okay, and she ended up having a few more seizures, I think just a few days later, and she went back to the hospital. She apparently was supposed to see a neurologist at some point. Who knows if that ever happened. Now, Stephanie and Drew were both saying they have no idea what could have caused these seizures, but on a live, while Drew was talking about it, one of the kids in the background, you can hear them say, "Oh, she fell off the bed."
No, she went to the hospital on Tuesday as well. No, she's not falling off the couch. There's no thuds. There's none of that. Hey. What the heck, guys? Hey, hold on. Hey.
So we cannot say 100% that if the baby did fall off the bed, that is what caused the seizures. Obviously, we do know that if the baby received a head injury when it fell off the bed, then yes, it could have caused a seizure. And all I can hope for is that they were honest with the doctors that yes, she did fall off the bed. I haven't heard any more updates about the baby. Now what's really worrisome is back in beginning of March, I believe, their other baby that they have together also started having seizures. And the way people figured this out was a leaked 911 call.
Engine 2, Medic 1313, Priority 2, Delta seizure. Portland Value 11936, Northeast Sandy, Unit 9. You have a 3-year-old seizing on Ops 1. Stand by for additional tap.
Hey, Randall, Medic 1313, coming to you, Code 1, ETA is about 10 minutes. On board, I have a 2-year-old little boy. Coming today for seizures. It sounds like 2 seizures times 30 seconds, tonic-clonic. No history of epilepsy. Just been battling a stomach bug for the last few days. Took sugar and it was a little high, 223. So when we were arriving, kind of rousable right now. Will come in and out, acting somewhat appropriate. Vital signs as follow: 91/56 for our blood pressure. Heart rate was 106, 98%. Breathing about 20 to 22 times a minute. No trauma noted. Be there in about 10 minutes, nothing further. Do you have any questions?
Now, Stephanie and Drew did respond, and they basically were frustrated that this was exposed before they could even talk about it or process it themselves.
There's no fixing this right now, and I don't even give a fuck. I'm gonna try to make this brief because, as most of your nosy asses already know, my 2 youngest are both now having seizures. Like Drew said in his video, we didn't get any time to get ourselves some answers about this before it became public knowledge that my toddler, Atlas, because you guys will use his name even though we don't use his name like that.
Her saying this actually really frustrates me because she has used his name. She has showed all of her kids' faces. She picks and chooses what information to put out there, which normally I would agree with, but Stephanie doesn't do this to protect her children. It is to punish her followers.
The boundaries you guys just leap over because we decided to put ourselves on social media. We don't share something, but then you take it upon yourself to be like, well, we're going to share it. We're going to make it everybody's business. I can't do anything about that. What I can say is that you can make your speculations regardless of what I say and what I do. All I know is that I'm the one going through this. It's my babies that are suffering and having seizures. Not suffering, because seizures are something that not just my kids are going through. It happens. Epilepsy is not an uncommon thing, and it's in both my bloodline and Drew's bloodline. So it's not like it wasn't a possibility with our children. And I find it freaking ridiculous that people want to sit there and actually think that me as the mother isn't going research crazy trying to think of any kind of possibilities that could also be why this would be something both my kids started having happen while we get into this freaking motel situation. You want to be like, oh, what about the paint on the freaking wall and
so many freaking things you guys want to say that it is. And if we were so worried about any of the crap you actually act like I'm worried about, why would I be taking my kids to the doctor so willingly? I'm the one pushing for testing. I want to know what the fuck. Why wouldn't I? Anyways, that's my ramble on that freaking shit. I will get back to it and say more when I fucking know more. Like, for God's sake, let us breathe.
What she mentions about the paint is actually a pretty big concern, and it's something people have been noticing for quite a while, and it's specifically that baby. People have noticed him in the background of their cleaning videos actually grabbing paint chips off the wall and eating them. And obviously everyone's like, hey, that's not good. And people have been commenting this for quite a while, and nothing has been done until after this seizure. Now, this video was pretty much the next video that she posted after the response to the 911 call being released, and it's her putting duct tape over the paint chipped areas. People found this video particularly frustrating as well because, number one, she could have done this months and months ago, and number two, if you pause to read the stuff she is saying, she is trying to say that she doesn't understand why people are blaming her and her boyfriend as to why she chooses to stay home and not get a job when actually society is the problem.
Sure, Jan.
And I will give it to her, there is an argument to be made in that, but she is not in the position to be a stay-at-home mother. They are living out of a motel room. You need to be doing everything you possibly can to get your kids out of that situation. Now, as far as I know, this is the last we have heard about either the babies having seizures or any other medical problems. I don't know if that's because nothing has happened or because Steph has chosen to keep that offline. Now, normally I would respect the fact that Stephanie has chosen not to put her kids so much online or to post about their medical issues, but she's not doing this because she is worried about her kids' safety or how they'll be perceived when they're older. She's doing this more to punish her audience. She doesn't like the criticism that she receives when people see the children. That's the reason she has chosen to keep them offline. It's not for their safety. So instead of getting a job to contribute to her family, Steph has decided to ramp up buying items from TikTok shop. So then I guess you can get a commission if people use your link. And one of these items was a natural toothpaste powder from the Revived Homestead.
This is from Revive Homestead, and it's their natural mineral toothpaste powder.
Now, I just have this small clip of her original endorsement video of this product because the video has since been taken down. And that's because people ended up contacting Revive Homestead, letting them know that Stephanie probably isn't the type of person that they wanted associated with their brand.
Well, this was not my plan for this morning, but I need to address this before I start my day. So we offer an open collaboration on all of our products for affiliates, which basically means that anybody can add it to their showcase and promote. And 99% of the time, this is great. It works totally fine, and we love our affiliates. But this morning, I woke up to a message informing us of a creator that was sharing about our products, and just cautioning us and letting us know we should probably go check out their videos. So I did. And just let me be very clear, just because somebody posts a video about our product does not mean that we are, for one, associated with them, but two, condone anything else they post on their page. Now, that being said, we are considering shutting down our open collaboration and making it a targeted, requested collaboration. And this just ensures we know every single creator promoting our product, and we kind of have a little more control over that. But for today, just know that we are not directly associated with every account that posts about our product. If you want to see what we're about and what we represent, just come hang out on our page, watch videos, comment, DM us. I am more than happy to have those conversations with you. Love y'all.
When they decided to do the open collaboration, obviously they did not think about the possibility of someone who doesn't have a good reputation promoting their products. Even though this was an oversight, I think, on the business owner, I believe she handled the situation pretty well. She didn't trash talk her, she didn't say anything mean, she just clearly stated this isn't someone that we want associated with our brand. And Stephanie does end up responding to this.
I mean, you made a video addressing it, so I kind of only feel like it's right for me to do so as well. Everybody has access to my page. They have access to knowing who I am prior to giving me collab offers, and I understand that's an open collab offer and you can take it back. I don't think the nasty messages needed to be a part of this. I don't think the misunderstanding about my public image had to reflect on a collab offer. You could have just as easily disregarded all the hate because it'll pass by. But
so I understand that Stephanie is probably embarrassed and frustrated with the situation, but she has to understand that is this woman's livelihood. Honestly, the reason Stephanie makes any money from social media is because of the controversy surrounding her, okay? Surrounding her and her family's living situation. This woman has probably spent years developing this product, packaging it, marketing it, and is trying to make a go for it. So no, Stephanie, she can't just count on the hate going by. She has to get ahead of it and handle it, because otherwise that could completely tank her business.
You're into content too. You realize that a lot of times people can spin and have negative things to say about you that aren't true. And if you choose to believe that about me, I can't do anything for you. I don't think in this sense I deserved the kind of response that I got. If we're really looking at the big scope of it, I'm a customer and you treated me with incredibly poor customer service.
Stephanie, you were not just a customer, you were a collaborator. Okay, again, yes, it was on the business owner for having the open collaboration and not thinking about the possibility of something like this happening. But honestly, that's a mistake anybody could make. I just don't think it's fair that Stephanie is essentially asking this woman to put her business on the line for her reputation, to stand behind her when she doesn't even know her. So Stephanie ends up making another response video, and I believe it's because other businesses reached out to her asking her to take down her endorsement videos.
So apparently it made zero difference that I made a disclaimer on all of the products that I posted stating like, I seek these products out myself. It's not a brand associated with me in any way. So going and giving a bunch of negative energy and negative reviews to a brand and just trying to like shut down any opportunity I have with having opportunities with the brand, it's just childish behavior. It's ridiculous. But I find it even worse that these brands will reach back out to me and just be like, well, we don't want to be associated with you in any way. We want you to take down the video because what? You didn't expect no negative response, no negative reviews ever when you started your brand? It's just too much for you? That's crazy. Who starts a business and can't handle backlash? What the fuck is that? That's where I'm like, I'm kind of appalled because I'm not doing nothing wrong. I literally stated that I'm not associated with the brands in that way. It's no different than anybody else who buys a product, goes and finds something at a store, and they're just like, hey, I want to share this with y'all because I like it. I don't get anything that I don't like or want to try to share with you guys. It's just simply that. It's nothing more than that. And I don't know. I try to, out of respect for the brands, just like delete the post after they ask me to. But it's also like, why? Why would I give up my opportunity for my growth because you can't handle the backlash of negative reviews? I get nothing but negativity and I keep going. You can't do the same? Well, then I don't want to promote your brand as it is because you're not somebody who's worth promoting. Thank you.
Is Stephanie technically correct in this? Yes, she really didn't do anything wrong in this instance because they were open collaborations. Anyone could join. But she again is acting entitled that just because the business decided to do this open collaboration means they now have to back all of your choices. And again, these aren't just your everyday content creators. These are small businesses where one bad endorsement could mean the end of their business. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the side character drama that has been going on behind the scenes that I did not even know was happening until Cursed Eye made her video. Okay, so number one, if you by some chance don't know what I'm talking about, the first thing you're going to do is go to Cursed Eye's channel and watch that video. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link down in the description, but it's going to really help fill in a lot of blanks. I'm going to go over it a bit, but I'm not going to go into the detail that she put in her video. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is establish the main characters that we're going to be talking about. So first off is Cursed Eye. She is a Resilient Jenkins reaction channel. That is not the only person she has made videos about, but the last year or so, that seems to have been more of her focus. And then there's Arlita, who, if you watched my previous video, you know is actually the mother of Drew's first child, who he abandoned. And then there's Desiree, who is the mother of Drew's second child, Deshawn, who we see in the videos quite often. And they have been in a custody battle for quite a few months, which she has actually just won. Then we have Mama Cheese, Monty's mama, or Timu Mama June.
Her favorite foods are sketty and butter, and she likes drinking Red Bull and Mountain Dew.
Who is just a fellow content creator who has somehow inserted herself into these people's lives. And then we have Unnamed, who apparently Timu Mama June, Des, and Arlita have been bullying online for quite a while. And the reason why we are calling her Unnamed is because she has completely taken herself off the internet, because things now have gone into real life for her. She had a wellness check done on her, and also CPS did go to her household. So it seems like all of this started back in December when Arlita had her child support case with Drew. Now, this particular case was highly anticipated because Arlita had been saying that Drew might get arrested for not paying child support at this hearing. So apparently, from what I've gathered, some content creators went ahead and made videos about Arlita's hearing before Arlita had a chance to herself. And obviously that upset her, which she said in this live stream.
I don't know how you're confused, because I made it very plain clear. Like, yes, I said you can make the content, but you didn't ask me before the court ended if I wanted to speak on it before anything got released. I figured that, like, just like me and you, I figured like she would write me and just be like, hey, I think you haven't talked about this. Can I address this? Because I'm getting messages in my inbox. But again, I hear you. But again, the thing that they did on Reddit was illegal. They were not supposed to record that on WebEx. The courtroom said for 3 times, for 3 hours that we're in there, if you're in here with ill intentions or doing things that you're not supposed to be doing, you need to leave.
Right. And just for anyone listening, that Reddit, that was not on her. That's somebody else. That's other.
No, that was not on her. But it's the fact that I get on here and people are already telling what's happened. I haven't even said anything.
Right.
Now, from my understanding, Unnamed was not one of the creators who jumped the gun and posted about the court case, but she ended up staying friends with some of the other creators who did. And this obviously bothered Des, Arlita, and Mama Cheese, because then they would take any opportunity to shit on Unnamed. And one night they took things way too far when they started questioning her essay story, even going as far to say they didn't believe that it happened, which then caused Unnamed to go on TikTok and post a video that made people worry for her safety. I believe that's the best way to put it for YouTube. So they ended up calling for a wellness check on her, even though they were in contact with people who were in contact with her and her family, saying that no, she's actually okay. Her family was with her and she was fine, but they did it anyway. Now, in addition to the wellness check, CPS showed up at Unnamed's house as well. Now, from my understanding, that isn't because Arlita and Mama Cheese called CPS on her. It was just because of the wellness check, that it is standard procedure. If a wellness check is done, CPS needs to come and check on the children if there are children in the household as well. I could be wrong on that, so just drop it in the comments if I am, okay? And that goes for anything that I get wrong or anything that you feel that I left out that needs to be included. I actually really appreciate you guys kind of checking me on that, and also the criticism, as long as it's nice. Please be nice about it, but I do think you guys have helped me become a better editor and creator. Now, the unfortunate fallout from this situation is that people were now questioning their support of Des and Arlita, specifically their monetary support. So 2 GoFundMes were made, and between the 2 of them, they ended up getting close to $20,000. Now, the first GoFundMe, we don't have proof on where that money went exactly. So it could have gone to the lawyers, which is what the money was for, to help Desiree get her son back. But we don't have any proof. But because all of these questions were being asked, the second GoFundMe, Arlita actually made a video showing receipts on the money going to the lawyer.
All right, let's address some things today because I'm over the lies and the slander and the disrespect to me, Kristen, and Desiree, and to anybody else who's stood by us in our corner. So since we're going to address this, I have screenshots of everything because what you're not going to do is play on my name and play in my face. Okay? I don't want no apologies. I don't want nothing from nobody. Nobody was being a bully. Nobody's done anything to anybody. Unless you talked crazy to me, I talked crazy back to you for a reason. So let's get into the screenshots, shall we? Because we launched our GoFundMe October 4th. Okay? Took us 16 days to raise the money, and the money went to where we said it was going to go, to the attorney. So let's go to the screenshots, shall we? So this screenshot here was dated back in September. This is what Desiree got before we launched the GoFundMe. This is when we came to conclusion that, oh my God, we are going to probably have to launch another one. There were people asking in places and spaces like, is she going to do another GoFundMe? We wouldn't mind helping her raise the money if she does another GoFundMe and if it's done properly, right? So this is the bill that Desiree sent to us of what she had to pay after the escrow for the last GoFundMe was spent up. Okay, so this was dated back in September. This was billed to her October 1st. Okay, here's another screenshot of when we paid the lawyer. Mind you, GoFundMe took their cut. Okay, so let me go grab that for you guys so you won't be so confused. So here's the receipt that was paid for that bill of September. Her bill that was due was $2,696.76. So that money from part of the GoFundMe paid that bill. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next where the money went to the escrow. Okay. Let me grab that for you. This is the amount of money that went to the escrow. Okay. All right. So $698. Oh, sorry. $6,987.06. Went to her escrow. Okay. We closed that GoFundMe on the 20th. Took them 4 days. As you can see, the date up there is October 24th. Okay. Because we had to wait till that money hit Miss Kristen's account to pay it, which was that Friday. You guys can go back and check the date on that. It was a Friday that we paid it. It was also the Friday that we went live and said that we did pay it and that these are the same receipts that we showed in the live. Now, let me show you her breakdown when it came to her bill. Okay, so here's some of the breakdown in her bill for the 11th and what was filed for her. Okay, I will also get the other part because this is a long list of things. So let me get you the other part where I can show you the balance of what she has in her escrow where the money's being used to the lawyer because nobody touched this money but the lawyer. You can see at the bottom right here, it says the total trust transactions. So this is the amount that was billed. Her current trust was at $5,366.85. So this is the retaining money that she had in her escrow. Okay, so all the money we raised went to where we said it was going to go. All right, so this was before everything. This is in November, okay, with all the filings, all the emails, all that, okay? Let's break it down to, I think we got a January. Okay, let me get that for you. This is her most recent bill that went into the trial that happened a few weeks ago. I have the other half for you so you guys can see what else is left in her escrow. As you can see, all the money that we raised for this young lady is their current trust balance. It's in her.
Now, in the end, for at least the second GoFundMe, it did go to the lawyers and she did show that proof right there. And the end result is that Desiree got her son back, which is what everyone wanted. They wanted Deshaun to be in a safer environment. Now, she still allows him to go over and see his dad, which some people are upset about, but I can understand because in the end, if you just completely rip him away, that is going to be very traumatic. Now, there is the full custody agreement out there somewhere. I'm not going to go over that, okay? I'm just not. But you guys can go and find it if you're that interested. Honestly, just to give my opinion on the situation with all of them, it was just some petty bullshit that did not need to go this far. Now, to be fair to Des, it does seem like Arlita and Mama Cheese were kind of the ringleaders of the situation, but she was still condoning it. She was still being there. She wasn't saying like, hey, I'm not cool with this, blah, 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 blah. And in the end, it's just very much mean girl behavior, and we're all adults. We don't need to be acting like this, especially towards people who have been actively helping you raise money to get your son back. That's just not cool. So this next part is going to be kind of quick, but I find it funny, so I just wanted to include it. So a little while back, all of a sudden, Stephanie's Facebook got banned. And everyone was kind of freaking out, like, okay, what's happening? Did she deactivate her Facebook for a little bit just to kind of drum up some attention? Because no one would put that past Stephanie. Because it would like disappear and then come back and then disappear over the course of a couple days. It was doing that. And Stephanie put out there that someone had hacked into her account and she had to make an entire new Facebook account.
I want to talk Resilient Jenkins and the disappearing Facebook page. Stephanie has taken to Threads and she is claiming the reason the Facebook account is gone is because a medical professional, someone at her children's doctor's office, has hacked her Facebook account. That's what she wants you to believe. She gave them her phone number, so they hacked her Facebook account. I'm not sure what a doctor or receptionist or nurse or any medical professional would have to gain by hacking Stephanie's Facebook account. Just the nerve of Stephanie to come online and now be accusing medical professionals who were certainly helping her child of hacking her Facebook account. It's just crazy. And it's just so telling she doesn't know how hacking works. A phone number alone is not going to give you access to someone's Facebook account. And the last line, great. I'm about over this social media crap. People have been over your crap on social media for years.
We've heard this hacking story before, Stephanie. Okay, we don't believe you. But she ends up saying and blaming Kirsty, saying Kirsty is the one who hacked her Facebook account.
New day, new wild theories from Stephanie on the Facebook hacking. I know yesterday she told us that it was a medical professional, but today she's back with an even crazier theory. She's back to say it was Cursed I who hacked the Facebook account. Don't worry, Stephanie wouldn't just say this without proof. She's gonna say, you actually think I'd really say it was one person without actual proof? And yeah, we actually think you would directly say it was one person. Because yesterday you came on this same app and said you gave out your phone number to individuals in workplace settings and you got hacked. So unless you're saying that either Cursed I was in those workplace settings or she's working with someone at the doctor's office to hack your Facebook account, then you were lying yesterday or you were making these claims without proof, but not today. Because, I mean, Stephanie can't even provide proof of residency, but she's going to come on here and make these claims about Cursed I and say she has proof, but not actually show any proof.
Listen, there are crazy people out there who could and would do something like this. I personally don't think Kirsty is one of them. I don't think she has a whole lot to benefit from doing that, because if she got caught, that would probably ruin her relationship with her audience. Stephanie never showed any proof of this either. She just made these claims and expected people to believe her. So the last thing that I want to talk about in this video is a TikTok that Stephanie uploaded to her sub-only content talking about the situation with her actual current husband, Jeremiah Thompson. But before that, I'm going to throw up a trigger warning. I am going to be talking about situations involving SA with a child. So if you don't want to listen to that, just go ahead and click off this video, okay? So the current situation with Stephanie's husband is he is in prison for 25 years for kidnapping and SAing a 5-year-old child. He also has multiple other assaults on his record, including SAing his own mother. And Stephanie knew about those prior offenses when she got with him. Now, Kirsty did a deep dive video on the situation between Stephanie and her husband quite a while ago. In fact, in my last video, I had even directed people to go watch that video. I feel like I've mentioned Kirsty a lot in this video. I don't really mean to, but she has become kind of a big player in the resilient Jenkins story online anyway at this point, which is why I think she has decided to take a step back from social media, and I completely encourage that. Again, I don't know her, we're not friends or anything like that, so on the off chance she happens to see this video, I hope you are doing well, and good for you for putting your mental health first.
I feel like because then obviously I wouldn't be able to make the video, but I feel like I want to talk about this more, because the more I heal, the more I look back and realize like family was way more rooted in evil and crazy stuff than I really had any knowledge of. I didn't really realize to the extent of how fucked up people could be, and honestly I've learned a lot more of that even just in the past year. But I keep getting like triggering memories of what it was like to be with my ex and live with his family, and like he had multiple brothers too that I met that were just bro. And the thing is, like, I'm not gonna go into too much depth of it because some people just have a safety net that I don't, especially when it comes to money, and these are the kind of people that do. Okay, so that's part of the reason why I'm still fucking married to him, and I've explained this.
She can explain it as much as she wants. It's just not true. Just because you don't have the money to get a divorce while your spouse is in prison doesn't mean you can't get a divorce. Actually, I think it's a lot easier to get a divorce once your spouse is in prison, especially considering the fact of what he is in prison for and that they have children that he would not be safe to be around. But another reason why that's just not true is he has already filed for divorce and she refuses to sign the papers.
The reason Stephanie Jenkins won't divorce her convicted felon PDF husband is because she will not sign the papers. Their divorce records have just been discovered. As you can see here, dissolution of marriage with children. This is Stephanie's legal name. And right here, you can see that the petitioner is her PDF convicted ex-husband. Or should I say legal husband, because her name is still tied to his because she will not sign the papers. He served her the papers.
So at this point, they would probably have to refile either one of them because he could have pushed to basically have a default divorce if he wanted to, even from prison, but he didn't. And she could do the same thing. If she filed for the paperwork and he didn't sign, then she could also push to have that happen. Okay, so back to the money aspect of it all. In the video that I just showed you, she goes on to say that Stephanie's mom actually offered to pay all the fees associated with the divorce. But say that wasn't an option, you can actually apply to have the fees waived. And honestly, especially at the time, it seems like that would have gone through. Would the extra paperwork taken a little bit longer? Probably, but it would be worth it so you're not legally tied to that man anymore. One thing that I've thought about too is she hasn't taken any steps to disconnect herself from this man. I wonder what steps she has taken to disconnect her children from this man, because if this was me and those were my children, I would immediately be changing their last name, because I just would not want them to grow up and on the off chance anybody could just connect them to him. That's just not fair to them.
That's why I'm just like, I dismiss the comments. You're still married because you want to be. No, the fuck, I'm not. It actually costs money to divorce people, and I don't know that that would be like, other than filing fees would be too much of my issue now because it has been so long that we've been separated. But it still costs money that I've been putting elsewhere for the past so many years.
Yeah, you're right. You have been putting money elsewhere. Let's look at this creator over on TikTok who actually showed us exactly where she's been putting that money.
So let's go down a rabbit hole and look at how much money she's spent on miscellaneous random things that she absolutely did not need. These are all things that they have shown or told us that they have bought while in the motel room. And I'm going to lowball most of this. If these things are on sale right now, I'm just going to list the sale price. Okay, we need to keep some things in mind first before we start this video. The Brazilian Jenkins already had a microwave that came with the motel room. They had a crock pot, a waffle maker, a deep fryer, a toaster, a hot plate, and a griddle. They already had these things. We're going to assume that they had these in the apartment and they brought it with them to the motel room. Okay. First, she shows us that she buys 2 Sterilite storage bins. These run $31 a piece, so that's $62. She then buys a new air fryer. That was $80 on the TikTok shop. She then gets a new toaster because she needs a double toaster, apparently, and that was $30. She then buys the new purple griddle, and that is $60. She then shows us a lung detox. She shows opening out of the box, so we know that she bought it new, and that is $35 on Amazon. She then buys the sandwich bed for her daughter, and that was $100. She then buys a new crock pot, a bigger crock pot, for $63. The infamous new, now broken Ninja air fryer was around $270. And then she recently got a hot plate, that was $32. Drew also got a new PS5 controller, that was $75. And he also got a new game that was released, and we can assume that that was around $60. Okay, doing the math and adding that all up, that is $867. On miscellaneous appliances, random shit, and things they did not need. $867, okay? Now we're gonna also add in gardening, okay? Drew told us that they spend $30 every 4 days on gardening.
$30 lasts us like 3 or 4 days maybe.
Okay, and I'm only going to do the math for 7 months because we know that they had to slow down on gardening due to Drew's job. So for 7 months, if they're spending $30 every 4 days on gardening, that is approximately $1,500. So let's add $1,500 plus $867, and that's $2,367.
Now, this isn't even including all the random shit she has bought off of TikTok shop, and also it's only been since they've been in the motel room. Okay, they have been making horrible choices with their money from the very beginning. It has been the main problem everyone has had with them, is the fact that they have the opportunity to make better choices and they consistently choose not to.
But what I'm trying to say is that not everybody is given the tools and the knowledge of how to read a person and know the evil and that they already are, what they're capable of. I definitely wasn't, especially at 18, 19 years old when I met the guy, and I was just looking for a get out of my freaking mom's house type of situation, get away, because her and I were not seeing eye to eye. We were fighting fucking constantly, and more or less she was just like, I need you to get out. And he was very manipulative. I didn't know anything about his past, and I didn't even honestly know how to like Google somebody the proper way to see their background. Like, it makes me sick to think like I wasn't even like didn't have that knowledge.
This is just a flat out lie. We have a letter that she wrote to a judge, some sort of character reference trying to say that he's a good person now. But in this letter, she says on their first date, he told her he was a level 3 sex offender.
18, you know? Because my kids are definitely gonna know that, but it's beside the point. I didn't have any idea who the fuck I was actually messing with until I did. And then at that point, I was already we had our second kid, and he started to really show me like who the fuck he is.
So one, not only is she lying about not knowing about his past, but she's lying about not knowing how to look up his past. Because again, in this letter, she states the person I had read about wasn't the same person I'd gone on a date with. Why else had she read about him? Other than she looked him up and saw what he did. Another thing I'm going to point out is a lot of people like to shit on her grammar, not only just in this letter, but in her Facebook post as well, or any of her descriptions. But I'm not that person because I am so unbelievably dyslexic. That is just, grammar is not my strong suit, so I can't say nothing about that. There's also a chance she knew about him before they even got together because he was on the news.
Is there a sex offender in the same classroom with your child? Local parents shocked tonight to learn there's no way of knowing. It's 11 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Jeff Gianola.
And I'm Kelly Day. The question came up today in the case of 19-year-old Jeremiah Thompson. He's a battleground student, and he was already a registered sex offender. Now he's accused of attacking again. KOIN Local 6 reporter Cor Harlan is live at the Clark County Courthouse, where Thompson will appear tomorrow. Cor?
That's right. He's scheduled for his arraignment here tomorrow, Kelly. You know, the question, and Jeff, the question that a lot of parents in the district there at Prairie High School are asking tonight, how could this 19-year-old, as you mentioned, convicted of child molestation, second-degree rape, and fourth-degree assault already at just 19 years old, how could this young man be roaming the halls of Prairie High School without any parent or student knowing about his criminal history?
A couple other people knew about it, but they weren't really sure if it happened or not. I wasn't really sure either, but a lot of people seemed like they were like, no, it happened.
Prairie High School student Shay Riley seemed to know it.
Our administrators know it, counselors, the teachers who are involved know it, but no notice, no announcement to students or parents or the public from the schools. It's just, we're not allowed to.
The it they're referring to is the criminal background of 19-year-old Jeremiah Thompson, a Prairie High School student, child molester, rapist, and registered sex offender, now charged with third-degree rape of a child last week after he met a 14-year-old female classmate at a local grocery store, took her to his home, and had sex with her, according to a police report. And what has parents concerned in this matter, the school cannot legally whisper a word of Thompson's criminal history to parents or students.
Is there a chance she did not see this? Yes. Yes, there is. I miss news stuff all the time. In fact, I never watch the news except for what comes across my feed. Unless something big is happening, that's when I go to the news. But had she looked him up, this probably would have come up pretty quickly. And again, even in that letter, she says she read about him. So she looked him up. She knew it. Okay? She's lying.
And anyways, the misconceptions about me with you honestly think that I chose to be in that situation. I don't care. It's just downright evil for you to assume you even know anything about that situation. And it just goes to show how many people just dismiss somebody's story just because oh, well, it's convenient to believe this anyways. Okay, well, you weren't there. So, yeah. I really do hope that one time I don't know if maybe there'll be a time in my life where I can open up more about what I really went through with them and what I know. It's just, I just don't think it's the safe space to do so. I just don't think so. So, yeah, I didn't know, and I wish I would have known, and I wish I would have had the tools to know what the fuck I was gonna get myself into. If I had the knowledge I had today, definitely done way more extensive research and found out he had way more on his record than what he told me. But I really didn't think anything beyond, okay, well, he seems nice because, like I said, he was fucking manipulative as shit. He was incredibly nice to me and tried to oh, your mom shouldn't treat you like that kind of shit. Yeah, anyways. This is hard for me to talk about, but I get tired of people fucking acting like they know what the fuck they're talking about with me when it comes to this situation. So, believe what you want to believe.
Stephanie, we're just believing the facts. This is a court document. It does not look fake at all. And Stephanie herself has flip-flopped on saying if this letter is real or not. At first, she was saying no, it wasn't real. She never wrote a letter defending him. And then she says, oh, I thought you guys were referring to a letter written recently, not one back in 2015. And now she's back to saying that she didn't write a letter, she never went on a boat with him, and she doesn't know what people are talking about. She quite literally just can't keep up with her own lies, and I mean, who could at this point? Well, the Reddit page is doing a pretty good job of keeping up with her lies. Anyway guys, this is just a really disappointing update for the Jenkins. I've been hoping for better, you know, I just have that where even when you know people just aren't going to do better, you just hope that they will. And it's just been disappointment after disappointment, especially considering that they do have an audience and they do have supporters and people willing to help them and give them advice, like real advice that could actually improve their quality of life. It's like Stephanie just thinks that the only way to make it is by being a social media star, and that's just not true. Not saying that she has to stop social media, but I just don't see why she couldn't get a job, because again, that's more content too, especially because the cleaning videos, the cooking videos, it gets very repetitive. And honestly, this type of content where people are mostly hate watching, it dies out. Okay, I'm kind of surprised it's gone on for this long, probably just the shock value of it all, but it's not gonna last forever. So the little bit of extra money they are getting from TikTok and Facebook and YouTube isn't gonna last very long. Obviously, there are always some things that I forget or I leave out on purpose because I just felt like other things were more important because this video is already pretty long. But if you made it to the end, thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a great day, good night, wherever you are. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Yeah.